Hello guys, welcome back with another tech news. Well guys, RAM memory manufacturers, whatever you see fit, you can call, but they are going crazy with the RAM speeds, and we have some news that G.SKILL and ASUS Z890X motherboard achieves the new DDR5 memory world record by setting the RAM speed up to 12,112 MT per second according to the news shared on WCCF Tech. These are the results that SafeDisk submitted to Hardware Bot. Memory frequency world record is submitted by ASUS ROG Extreme Overclocker SafeDisk using the G.SKILL Trident Z5 RGB DDR5 memory and ASUS ROG Maximus Z890 Apex motherboard and Intel Core Ultra 9 285K desktop processor under liquid nitrogen 2 extreme cooling. The record-breaking achievement of the DDR5 12112 demonstrates the exceptional memory overclocking performance of the latest Intel Core Ultra 200K series desktop processors, whereas Z890 motherboard and G.SKILL DDR5 memory. And these overclocking shows us that how good these G.SKILL and ASUS ROG Maximus boards are, especially at the overclocking site. Okay guys, next up today is that AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D 3D cache CPU listed at various retailers ahead of launch, and the prices are vary from place to place, and also the value added tax factor. But without tax value added VAT, it's listed for 460 to 463 euros. As we know that Ryzen 7 9800X3D is the first processor that is expected to launch in the Ryzen 9000X3D family. AMD has not officially announced the CPU, but the retailers have already listed the processor into their sites. And according to WCCF Tech News, these websites are PC21, that is a French website, and Nvidia, which is a Lithuanian website. And if you can see the prices that were listed onto the site. So this is the French retailers PC21.fr, but according to the news as we talk right now, the product page was soon removed. Video Cards took a screenshot of the product page revealing the price of Ryzen 7 9800X3D 5.2 GHz AM58 core 16 thread 120 watt and a tray processor for 556.27 euro and 463.56, but without value added tax. Similarly, the CPU was listed on Nvidia, that again is the website in Lithuania. The product page revealed the price as 557.31, which is of course with value added tax included, and without value added tax the cost should be somewhere around 460 euro, and that makes the MSRP of CPU around $602 US. Well guys, we don't know whether these will be the official or maybe near to the official more or less, but again this is much higher than the prices revealed in the earlier listing that was sub $500. We hope that AMD new chips won't cost more than $500 and hope that it will be around 450 to 500. But in Europe it will be more expensive due to the taxes. Next up today is the new AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D 3D CPU benchmarks leaks that shows the single core performance on par with 9950X and multi-threaded close to 14700K and is 25% faster than the 7800X3D. So the leaks that were suggesting about the performance of the chip was somewhat correct, and benchmarks are leaked and showing us what we saw in the early leaks. AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D with 3D cache is expected to be announced on 6th or 7th November, If they don't change the dates and delay the CPU, we will see the launch in the upcoming week for sure. But we have another benchmark of the CPU that show its raw power. The processor was benchmarked in some programs like Geekbench 6.3 using the ROG Crosshair X870E Hero motherboard, but with PBO enabled and boosting over its default boost clock to 5.27 GHz. And it scored, as you can see here, 3,340 points to round things up in single core and 18,658 points in multi-core test. And according to the leaks that are suggesting that 9800X3D surpassed the previous gen Ryzen X3D by up to 25%. To be specific, these scores are 25% above than the 7800X3D from the last gen. If we compare the 9800X3D old and new score, we can clearly see the performance uplift. Now we don't know whether they use the PBO for the old ones or not, but for the new tests they sure do, and the new score is almost on par with the Ryzen 9 9950X and is 25% faster than the Ryzen 7800X3D in single core test. So the reversing layer of the CCD and cache is indeed working for AMD. And if we talk about the 9800X3D in multi-core test, it almost closing the gap with 14700K, as you can see here in the benchmark scores, but of course not beating it. And in comparison to 7800X3D, the 9800X3D is 3,504 points ahead of 7800X3D. So the chip is looking promising in games. That's what I hope. But for the test to be more accurate than the old ones is somewhat skeptical, because how can you can gain 400 more score? Now again, I'm not sure whether they use the PBO for the old ones or not, and they are using the PBO for the new ones. But I hope that this chip will be good against the old ones and the new, of course, 9000 and the offering from Intel Ultra 9285K. That is not good for gaming. So I hope that this chip will bring what the consumer is asking from the company for so long, and it will be more clear once the chip is officially announced by AMD.